we talked a little bit the other day on the phone, but what else? So just right now as we're talking, what are we working on specifically?
Well, I think it's the eating disorder. That is the thing that just knocks me out every once in a while. Like I'm a healthy person. I'm active. Everything just feels really good in my life, and I love healthy food. I love to eat really well, and then every once in a while I binge. And it's very upsetting when this happens, and it's happened my whole life. We talked about that on the phone. Since I was a little girl.
10 almost, that's what I remember.
And, sneaking food and stealing food and getting punished for, and I was what they used to call a latchkey kid. So I, from a very early age, come home and, make my own lunches and stuff. And if I ate a piece of pie that I wasn't supposed to, I'd get in trouble. And
okay, so notice already, right, the body language that's going on here. From the beginning, first of all, she's like this. She's closed. She's pretty close. She got her knees in, her legs in. And although a part of her wants to release the particular issue at hand, you can tell a part of her is still kind of closed off to the idea of releasing it because, basically she doesn't know how. And notice how she's, as soon as she mentioned, what did she mention? The pie and getting in trouble. Right? Did you notice the body language there? She went, pie, and then she did this, and then she even went, kind of like that little breath out. It wasn't the relief breath. It was more like an exasperated breath. That's because she's still in those scenes. Her body's still feeling those scenes, those moments in time when she got in trouble for eating a piece of pie. So her body's reacting accordingly.
So I don't know, and I know that it's an anesthetic. It's my comfort. It's the thing that.
Okay, so notice that, right? So she just got through explaining she gets in trouble when she has pie, and notice she started to get a little bit more emotional about it, a little more animated about it, and then it's like it's almost subconsciously like she caught it, and then she came back to trying to be composed, right? And she started talking about, I know it's my anesthetic, I know it's this and this, right? And so again, notice how the body wants to get this out, but it's our conscious thinking minds that put a lid on it, and we want to be composed about it, or we think we have to do something about it. Right?
That I turn to. It's my addiction.
So right there, notice how she's kind of flippant about, well, it's my addiction, right? And usually when people tend to be flippant about like things, things like this, well, it's my addiction, it's because they've lost a sense of hope about ever wanting to change the particular issue because it's gone on for so long. So just more body language.
Body language more than anything else, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, thank you for coming here. It's very brave of you. Very courageous of you.
I'm a very brave person. I have no fear. Should be tattooed right there. No fear.
During that whole story, right? The most of you, it's a little nervous right now. We just met and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Most of the story, you're pretty even keeled, right? And then there was a part when you talked about the apple pie and being punished for it, right? And then you were kind of adjusting, right? And so, as you know this, you're a yoga instructor. The body's always talking to us, right? Like lie detectors work so well because they detect the most minute physiological changes inside the body. I want you to be better than a lie detector does. Right? Yeah. And so we're going to constantly keep listening to your body. Now, to say this real quickly, do me a favor, close your eyes for a second, right? And just say this. Think about that. The thought of being punished for taking a piece of pie.
The thought of being punished for taking a piece of pie.
Makes me feel.
Makes me feel. You want me to finish that sentence?
Yes, please.
Okay, there's my magical statement that I so love. A lot of people ask me, Matt, how do you keep your sessions so fluid, so fluent? How does it just say so smooth? That statement right there, the thought of this makes me feel, or I feel this because of the thought of this. that statement is so key through this whole process. It lets us know exactly what's going on with the client. And when we have a feeling or a thought, when we have a feeling, guess what? We have a thought with it. If we have a thought, guess what? There's a feeling with it. So there's always something that you can work on, either releasing the feeling or changing the thought and perception. But many times the change in the thought and perception will come from the release of the feelings. Again, another reason why I created this particular statement and why I love it so much is because they took some basic concepts. The conscious mind is a thinking mind, the subconscious mind is a feeling, emotional mind. All these two minds want is to be heard. It just wants to be respected. And if it can feel heard and respected, then they'll start to merge together as one to create the holistic mind. And the holistic mind is then created to the universal mind or the universe, right? And also not just the universe, but it's connected to the powers of the universe. Right? Don't mean to get too spiritual on you, but
makes me feel small and powerless.
Okay, stay there. Keep your eyes closed, right? You're doing great. Thank you so much. Now just take a quick scan of your body. Top of the head through the tips of your toes. Notice a little breath. All right, beautiful. When you take a little breath like that, that's the conscious and the subconscious mind coming together to agree on something, right? So the thought of being punished for a piece of pie makes me feel small, makes me feel powerless, right? Now scan your body, top of the head through the tips of your toes. Where do you notice those particularly small and powerless feelings? Solar
plexus.
All right, so notice there, right? We all of a sudden touched into something inside of her, a feeling of powerlessness, a sensation she doesn't like. I mean, she's even, if you notice, if you look in, her lips are pierced together. They're like, oh, you know. So a feeling of powerlessness. Oh, so now at this point, now that we've touched something on her, now that we've shown the spotlight on her, and she, you know, basically she got caught with a feeling, right? She's going to want to run. Right? She's going to want to run by thinking her way out of this. And it takes a little while for me to get her out of the thinking mode. But what do I do? Notice what I do to get her back into the feeling mode, into her subconscious mind, which is the feeling mind. The conscious mind is the thinking mind. First of all, I reiterate everything she said. I feel powerless at the thought of feeling small. I can't remember exactly what it was. But I have her focus on the powerless feeling. But also notice, I got her back into her body. Right? That's how we tend to prevent people from running away from a situation. It's just inside the session. It's just to get them back inside of their body. Keep letting them scan their body. When they're focusing inside of the body, you hypnotists will love this. When they're focusing inside of the body like this, the outside world will start to fade away and disappear. What's happening? They're bypassing critical faculty and going into the subconscious mind where there's feelings and emotions. Right? The subconscious, again, basic hypnosis 101. Subconscious mind's a feeling, emotional mind. Conscious mind's a thinking, rational, analytical mind. Once we can get into the feeling, emotional, subconscious mind, we're going to get into a hypnotic state. For you non-hypnotists, don't be thrown off by the word hypnosis. Hypnosis is simply a word. It doesn't mean too much. It just means going into her internal mind.
I remember talking to you on the phone. It was a lot in the solar plexus, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Beautiful. You're doing great, by the way. In a moment, I count from 1 to 3. To count of 3, open your eyes, okay? But stay in the feeling. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so just from that alone, right? Coming in, noticing the small and the powerless feelings, and I know it's like...
All right, so I don't know if you can see this, but notice the look in her eyes at this point, right? It's almost like you could see right behind them, and right behind them, it's saying, uh-oh, what did I just get myself into? Right? Because, again, we've shown a spotlight on her feelings, and now she's got to come forth with her feelings that she's been trying to eat away, that she's been trying to run from. I know that you've tried just about everything to get through this particular issue. Just really quickly, can you tell me what you've tried?
Well, I've tried self-hypnosis. I tried taking a hypnosis course. I've tried mega vitamins. I've tried all kinds of different diet plans, going off sugar completely and flour and things that, you know, may trigger. I've, well, not only tried, but I continue to meditate and do yoga and stay active and stay very, very busy. Yeah. Staying busy has always been probably too busy is one of my coping mechanisms. Okay. But I'm completely aware of how I self-sabotage.
That's pretty good, because that tells me on some level you're waking up.
Yeah, big awakening. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow, okay. And the idea of sabotage, we talked a little bit about this, but many times like, especially like when we start moving, we listen to a lecture, we do some self-hypnosis, we feel really good for a while, right? And all of a sudden the issue kind of seems to go off to the side for a little bit. But sometimes we reach something called the upper limits of good energy, right?
That sounds familiar.
So when we start reaching these upper limits of good energy, we're feeling good, then a part of us goes, when's the shoe going to drop? Right? And then next thing you know, we focus on the shoe dropping, and then the sabotage happens, right? And the reason, the upper limits of good energy, this is such a key concept to this process. It's actually a huge part of this process, because many times I'll see that often as people start to feel good, right? And you would expect, why not continue to feel good? But it actually does the opposite. When people reach that upper limits of feeling good, a part of us goes, when's the shoe going to drop? Then we start sabotaging the good feeling so we can come back to something that's more predictable for us, something that we're more familiar with. It's a little weird, but it's actually true. It happens all the time. We teach, me and my good friend Randy Shaw, we teach age regression hypnosis boot camps, and one of the things that we do in class is we actually get people, we actually hypnotize people and put them into a state so that we can bring up good feelings of excitement. And when we bring up good feelings of excitement, you'd think that they'd want to sit there and feel excitement, but what actually happens is once they start to feel really excited, boom, it brings up a memory that's got something completely opposite from the excitement, and next thing you know, we're often doing a release session at that point. All from bringing something up that feels good. Right? So I highly recommend that you look into Gay Hendricks' books. He's a wonderful author. He talks a lot about the upper limits of good energy, and he breaks it down very well. Makes me feel like, right? So what you don't like about it, the thought of
binging, makes me feel disgusted with myself.
Excellent. Good. And the stomach, it's really close to the solar plexus, right? And when I hear somebody say disgusted, it's usually around the stomach area. Okay, so say this. I do feel disgusted.
I do feel disgusted.
At the thought of binging.
At the thought of binging.
Okay.
So here I'm starting to move into my affirmation response program. If you don't know what affirmation response is, refer back to the standard portion of this program, the standard portion of the affirmation response program system that you can get on theperfectaffirmation.com. And the reason we want an affirmation is because we're going to use that as a barometer to find out how well you've been able to release the feelings inside of your body. The more cleared by the end when we do this affirmation process, the more smooth the body will feel, the more relaxed, that peace the body will feel. And if you don't know much about the affirmation process, if you skipped over that part just yet, review it, because that is integral to this whole system. Right? Again, it's a great way, it's a great barometer to find out how well you've done. It's also a tool that you're going to give your clients so that they keep focused on the affirmation. But if you know about the process, you'll know that I don't just do auto-affirm where I'm going to have her say it over and over again and try to have her force it into the subconscious mind. We use that affirmation as a tool to bring up what's inside the subconscious mind for us to release it.
Beautiful, too.
I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me. Heard.
Okay, so now we're actually the body's actually starting to get a little more relaxed. It's not relaxed to the point where I want it just yet, but it's starting to move in that direction because she's now listening to what her body is saying. But at the same time, she still kind of wants to move into thought a little bit, right? The last thing she said was heard, right? Feeling heard or something like that. But I want to keep her inside of the physical sensation. This is our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is to have the body so relaxed, so at ease when she focuses on this affirmation, right? So that it gets anchored in a way that her body is feeling easy because the body's finally feeling like it's being respected and she's hearing it. To get the body to the point where it's so peaceful that there's a sense of that peaceful nothingness. Not numbness, a peaceful nothingness. Because in that peaceful nothingness, there will be minimal, if none, zero resistance to what she wants to affirm in her life, to the affirmation. So the more peaceful we can get her, the more the affirmation will sink in, and then from there, we'll be able to create create from that affirmation, will be able to create the life that she wants to live, because now she can listen to what's truly inside her.
I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me. I just want to relax my hands more.
6, excellent.
Okay, so notice what happened. She's finally listening to her body. She's noticing more physical sensations. The body's feeling respected. And then all of a sudden, it relaxed. And all of a sudden, it said, I can open up my hands more.
Last night, feeling disgusted at the thought of binging last
Middle
night.
finger. Pinky.
Feeling disgusted.
Okay, go ahead and stop tapping. Take your time. Thoughts, feelings, sensations. What's happening right now?
Nothing's happening.
Okay, scan your body, top of your head through the tips of your toes. What are you feeling physically?
Peaceful.
Okay, so let's focus.
Okay, anybody buying that? If you bought that she's feeling really peaceful there, then I've got a bridge to sell you. So notice, okay, we've touched in on something pretty raw here, right? The disgusted feeling. And usually at this point, we brought the feeling down, actually. But it also started bringing some thoughts and feelings. But notice how at this point, this is where she would normally probably want to run, right? And then she'd probably start focusing on binging. She'd probably start grabbing something to eat, right? Just to move away from the rest of the disgusting feeling, right? But the problem is when you do that, the leftover disgusting feeling is still there. It's still a seed to grow, so that eventually, with enough events, enough situations, it'll grow so big, then all of a sudden the reaction comes, right? We lose that free will and we're starting to react. In her case, it's binging. But notice what happens. I'm not gonna deny her. I'm not gonna sit here and say, you don't feel peaceful. That's pretty silly. It's ridiculous. You don't look peaceful at all. I'm not gonna say that, right? If you tell them, they tend to doubt it. If they tell you, it's the truth, right? So you kind of go with it. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm still going to stay focused on her body, right? I know she's still feeling disgusted. I know there's some physical sensations that are still disgusted, so I'm going to let her tell me, and then I'm going to tap the rest of it out and see what happens.
Even though I feel sorrow.
At the thought of, oh nice, at the thought of, okay, yes, notice that, okay, remember, that's not your body trying to hijack you, it's your body trying to find a way out, okay? And I promise you, if you let me guide you, we'll get you through this. Right, there you go. Thank you. Take your time.
Okay, this is actually very fascinating here, because notice what happened. We finally got in touch with something so deep, and it's the sorrow of allowing our higher self to come up. I mean, how much deeper can it get than to not allow your soul self to come forward, right? But notice, okay, now that we've found this feeling that she's been trying to run from, trying to binge away, trying to eat from, the body is actually releasing it, right? And now she's taking, and you'll see more of it, she's taking these deep breaths, right? That's because we just released, the energy's being released. That's been holding the breathing, the breath. It's almost uncontrolled deep breathing, and you'll see it right here. She's breathing in deeply. This is a beautiful moment.
Take your time. Let that cry come through. Even those primal noises. Yes, thank you. There you go. Oh, nice. Look, good feeling. Leftover sad feeling.
Leftover sad.
At the thought of nobody seeing my beauty.
Nobody seeing my beauty.
Collarbone. Ooh, good breath. Yes. In Chinese medicine, the lungs hold the emotion of sadness. Right. So when we can let the sadness go, we get seeing my beauty. Then.
You not seeing my beauty.
There you go. Right. And at some point, the feeling's going to leave. You're going to feel peaceful. When it does, just stop tapping. Put your hands down. Ooh, nice. Scan your body. What's going on now?
Oh boy, feels good.
Good. It's okay for me to feel.
It's okay for me to feel good.
Even at the thought of you not seeing my beauty.
Even though the thought of you not seeing my beauty, once again, it feels like a big ego release.
Nice. I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
For thinking I was disgusting.
For thinking I was disgusting.
For thinking I was fill in the blank.
For thinking I was not worthy.
Beautiful. I release all that.
I release all that.
I'm waking up.
Waking up.
Nice. And now that I've released more of these feelings.
And now that I've released more of these feelings.
I allow myself to speak my voice.
I allow myself to speak my voice.
I forgive myself for thinking I shouldn't be heard.
I forgive myself for thinking I shouldn't be heard.
I set that thought and perception free.
I set that thought and perception free.
Because nice. Right? Okay, so now notice how authentic that forgiveness is, as opposed to when she tried to force it before, when she'd say, oh, I forgive everybody. Oh, I'm compassionate. That's what I do. I'm compassionate. Right? No, we take care of the feelings, like I've been saying this entire time. Release the feelings. We'll find that authentic forgiveness. We'll find that authentic sense of self where you don't have to force it. See, a lot of people try to force forgiveness. They try to smash it in there. They try to make themselves believe it. No. Organically let it happen through the release of the feelings. Okay? Now after the feelings are gone, there is minimal, if zero, resistance for the forgiveness. More so, there is minimal to zero resistance for what she truly wants at this moment in time. Now seeds can get into the subconscious part of her mind because it's resonating with what the conscious mind now wants. This is very powerful. These two minds now come together to be connected to create the holistic mind, which has no resistance to the universal mind, which now has access at this moment to the powers of the universe, to drop the seeds into the universe, so the universe can bring it back to her in an energy that she can use it.
Well, scan your body, top of the head through the tips of your toes. What do you notice?
I feel peaceful and relaxed.
Okay, now let's go back to the affirmation, see what how your body reacts. Even though I feel, I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me.
I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me.
First thing, physical sensation.
It feels more genuine.
1, nice, keep going, we're going for 10. I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me.
I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me. I don't need to grab my hands.
2, nice.
I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me. My throat is relaxed.
Nice, 3, say more.
I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me. I feel my belly not craving.
Beautiful, 4.
I feel peaceful at the thought of eating healthy for me. I feel satiated.
5.